that? Did you go through my phone?
So I did. You know what your problem is? I ain't got no problem. Don't tell me.
Don't do that.
Oh my gosh! You will not believe what went down on Love and Hip Hop Season 12. Atlanta has always been a hotbed of drama, but honey, episode 15 took things to a whole new stratosphere. Let me spill the tea about Kendra Robinson, Jock's wife. Girl, her storyline exploded in a way we haven't seen in years. Poor Kendra has always been the ride-or-die chick standing by Jock through absolute hell and high water. But this episode, she was caught in an emotional hurricane that had me clutching my pearls. From the second the episode started, it was crystal clear that Kendra was going through absolute hell in her marriage. Sure, things with Jock were never picture perfect, but Kendra? She's always been the definition of strength, independence, and unwavering loyalty. The woman has weathered so many scandals and rumors while balancing Jock's messy career and public image with incredible grace. But this episode, we saw a side of Kendra that left viewers absolutely shook. The couple has been through the ringer over the years. Jock's messy entanglements with other women, his constant mistakes, and the insane pressure of juggling his entertainment career with family life. But honey, it looks like everything finally reached a breaking point. Despite all the ups and downs, Kendra has always been loyalty personified. But now, her frustrations were written all over her face and she wasn't hiding it anymore. Kendra has been Jock's rock through it all, supporting him even when everyone and their mama questioned his commitment. He's always been known for that flirty personality, that irresistible charm, and his absolute love for stirring the pot. While the world side-eyed Jock's loyalty, Kendra played the devoted wife like nobody's business. Until now, it all exploded with one pivotal moment that felt like Kendra finally saw the light. After months of emotional torture, deafening silence, and growing resentment between her and Jock, she finally took a breath for herself and met up with her girlfriends at a local cafe. There, she poured her heart out about her marriage, her building frustrations, and that overwhelming feeling of emptiness that had taken root inside her. She's always been the supportive partner, but now, Kendra was finally putting herself first after years of putting herself last. Jock's actions, his total lack of commitment, and the absolute chaos of his career had her questioning everything about their future. She was done being defined solely as Jock's wife. Period. It became painfully obvious that she was completely exhausted, not just from their strained marriage, but from carrying the entire relationship on her shoulders while Jock was too busy chasing drama. And that's when something absolutely shocking happened. Kendra met someone new, and let me tell you, there was undeniable chemistry between them, a spark that had everyone's jaws on the floor. This new man was attentive, charming, and seemed to actually understand Kendra's emotional needs in ways Jock never bothered to try. After months of emotional drought, Kendra's vulnerability with this new connection felt like watching someone take their first breath after nearly drowning. It revealed a depth to her that viewers never knew existed, an emotional side she'd kept hidden for far too long.
My eggs, so when it's over with, I have some younger eggs for the next I'm dealing with. That's how I felt. At this point, she said, let her do what she want to do. So I said, do what you want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. So
what do you mean?
I'm doing what I want to do.
You can't do what you want to do because the last time you did what you want to do, you stepped out on Kendra and had a baby.
It feels like to me she already made the decision for herself, for me and our future. And, you know, here I am. It's kind of like, do I go and prove her right and do my thing? When I already know how she feels, she already telling me what it is what it is, man. I'm like, whatever. You're going to say, you're going to do what you want to do, I'm going to do what I want to do.
Jock, this is your wife. Maybe she's just hurt. You can't not care because...
But Gianna wasn't here when she said, I don't have kids with you. Nobody was here. I wasn't cheating, none of that. I was busting my ass to make sure I was providing for my family, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So whatever.
That's a lot. I've never seen Jock like this before, so clearly Kendra look at talk with him never go too well. I'm afraid that Jock is gonna do something stupid.
The tension between Kendra's years with Jock and her electric connection with this new mystery man created an emotional earthquake that rocked the entire episode. Kendra has spent years trying to make things work with Jock, riding emotional roller coasters that would make anyone dizzy just to keep her marriage together. But with this new man, something completely different awakened inside her. For the first time in what feels like forever, she felt truly seen and valued. Something something Jock failed miserably at providing. Kendra is standing at the crossroads of her life right now. She's always been that devoted wife who puts family above everything, no matter the personal cost. But now, as this new possibility blooms in front of her, she's questioning if it's even worth continuing to pour her emotional energy into Jock. For the first time, she's realizing that her happiness is actually her choice, not something that depends on her relationship status. The temptation of a fresh start with someone who genuinely cares about her well-being had her thinking thoughts she never imagined. As the episode unfolded, Jock started noticing the changes in Kendra. The woman he'd always taken for granted was evolving into someone he barely recognized, and his once unshakable confidence started crumbling as the tension between them reached a boiling point. Despite his desperate attempts to reignite their relationship, he faced nothing but resistance. Kendra is not the same woman he married. Gone is the quiet, patient wife who silently endured his mess. She's emerging as an unapologetic, assertive queen who demands the respect and devotion she's always deserved. A confrontation was absolutely inevitable. As Jock frantically tried to salvage their connection, Kendra faced the most gut-wrenching decision of her life. Would she continue suffering in a marriage that had emotionally drained every ounce of her spirit, or would she finally break free and explore other possibilities? Jock's frustration was radiating off him as he tried justifying his actions, but Kendra wasn't having any of it anymore. The perfect facade of their relationship didn't just crack, it shattered, exposing all the fractures that had always been there. While Kendra's encounter with the new man didn't immediately spell the end of her marriage, it marked a major turning point in her journey. It was crystal clear that Kendra had finally conquered her fear of putting herself first. Rather than waiting around for Jock to change, which, let's be real, wasn't happening, she was taking control of her own life. She recognized her worth and understood that her happiness could no longer be tied to Jock's actions, or more accurately, his inactions. The episode ended with Kendra still uncertain about her next steps, but the undeniable chemistry between her and the new man left viewers dying to know if this would be the final straw that breaks her marriage for good. This isn't just about some new boyfriend, it's about Kendra's empowerment, about discovering that she has the power to chart her own future, regardless of where it leads her. Kendra Robinson's transformation in Season 12, Episode 15 was absolutely revolutionary. She evolved from a supporting wife to a woman who knows her value and isn't afraid to take charge of her destiny. It's a story of growth, of releasing the past and embracing the difficult decisions that come with starting a brand new chapter. The episode set the stage for what's next in Kendra's life, a journey that will test her marriage, her identity, and her relationship with Jock and everyone around her.
I'm not one of those has made very suspicious.
Look, you deserve the absolute truth.
I thought I already had the truth.
Just listen to me. When me and you first met, you know what I'm saying? There were moments where our relationship overlapped hardly in my interactions. You gotta think, you and I was just friends for a long time.
The fact that you just now telling
For the first time in years, Kendra, a woman who has endured Jock's nonsense for what feels like forever, is finally putting herself first. It all began with a revelation, a game-changing moment that flipped her entire world upside down. Kendra was spotted meeting with her girlfriends at a local cafe, pouring out her frustrations, her deepest feelings, and most importantly, the crushing toll that weeks of emotional silence and complete agony had taken on her marriage. Kendra has always been the level-headed one in her relationship with Jock, but this episode showed us a side of her we've never seen before. Her patience completely gone, and it was painfully obvious that Jock's behavior and his total inability to fully commit had pushed her straight to her breaking point. The non-stop chaos surrounding Jock's career and personal drama had Kendra questioning everything about her future. She was done being defined by her relationship with him. It was clear as day that she was absolutely exhausted from carrying the entire weight of their marriage on her shoulders, especially when Jock seemed more focused on his external drama than on their crumbling home life. Kendra's frustration had reached a fever pitch, and right in the middle of this emotional tornado, something unexpected happened. Kendra met someone new, and the chemistry between them? Electric. Their connection was instant, and there was such intensity in their interaction that viewers were on the edge of their seats. This new man was charming, attentive, and most importantly, he seemed to understand Kendra's emotional needs in ways Jock had completely failed to in recent months. For the first time in what felt like forever, Kendra's vulnerability wasn't a weakness. It was her strength. It revealed a hidden side of her, one that had been buried for years but was now ready to embrace something fresh and new. This mystery man represented something Kendra hadn't felt in ages. The promise of being truly seen, heard, and
No, I'm saying. But she not coming into my house. You deal with that. Them your old ass, sad, sorry ass bones. You deal with that. I don't have to. You lucky I'm pouring this much. That's the blessing.
Was making it look like it was more than what it was. You should have reached out. I'm not a bitch off the street. You got money with my family. Yeah, but I was getting money with him before you came along.
It doesn't
before
matter.
You married him. You still owed me a conversation, girl. You been in my house.
But she
said, I don't owe anybody anything. You do. You owe me an explanation when you all up in my explanation.
The Atlanta streets are buzzing with the latest scandal that has the entire city shook to its core. As always, Young Joc's life is drowning in drama, but this time, it's deeply personal and more explosive than anything we've seen before. It all erupted when Jock uncovered a truth so shocking it left him absolutely reeling. For weeks, he sensed something was off. Small amounts of money kept mysteriously vanishing from his accounts. At first, it seemed like a simple mistake, or maybe just a technical glitch, but as the withdrawals became more frequent and methodical, he knew something sinister was happening behind his back. Then came the unthinkable revelation. The person responsible for it all was none other than Kendra, his girlfriend, the woman he trusted more than anyone in this world. Determined to get to the bottom of it, Jock took matters into his own hands and hired a private investigator to dig into these suspicious transactions. What the investigator uncovered was beyond anything Jock could have imagined. Cold, hard evidence confirmed the devastating truth. Kendra had been secretly siphoning money from Jock's accounts into her own. And the worst part? It was all caught on video. Seeing the footage was like a knife to the heart. There was Kendra, the woman he had loved and supported, transferring large sums of money without even hesitating. The betrayal cut deep. Jock was absolutely furious, but not entirely surprised. He'd always been cautious in matters of the heart, but this was a whole different level of deception. There was no way he could keep this bombshell to himself. The world needed to know the truth. With the damning video evidence in hand, Jock made a decision that would change everything. He was going public. The day of reckoning had arrived, and there was no turning back. But what he wasn't prepared for was the absolute chaos that followed. As soon as the video hit the internet, the reaction was instant. Fans, family, and the entire industry were glued to their screens. The footage was undeniable. Kendra caught red-handed taking the money without a second thought. Social media exploded. The world gasped. This wasn't just some simple mistake. This was betrayal on a whole new level. For Kendra, reality came crashing down in an instant. She had convinced herself that she was untouchable, that her relationship with Jock would shield her from any consequences. But now, the truth was out for everyone to see, and there was nowhere to hide. Furious and completely humiliated, Kendra couldn't believe what Jock had done. The money situation was one thing, but exposing their private business to the public? That felt like the ultimate betrayal. How could he do this to her? Did their relationship mean nothing? With the world watching their every move, the battle lines were drawn. The fallout was just beginning, and neither Jock nor Kendra would ever be the same again. Kendra didn't waste a second fighting back. She stormed into Jock's studio, her face red with rage and her eyes burning with fury. The storm of emotions inside her was about to explode. "How dare you put me on blast like that?" she screamed as she entered the room, her voice loud and dripping with venom. "You think you can just play me like this?" Jock stood there, surprisingly calm but resolute. He had already prepared himself for this confrontation. "Kendra, this was not what I wanted to do." The rage in Kendra's voice was unmistakable. She was hurt, humiliated, and furious that Jock had turned their private matter into public entertainment. But Jock wasn't fazed one bit. "However, you left me with no choice. You've been taking from me, and I can't just sit back and let you do that." Kendra's face twisted in absolute disbelief. "You're acting like I robbed you. Jock, this is US. We've been together for how long?" But retraction was necessary since the consequences of her actions were too severe to ignore. "You've been stealing from me for months," Jock said in a calm but forceful voice. "I had to tell the truth because you wouldn't be honest with me. You stole money that wasn't yours. You lied to me, and now everyone knows what you did." When Kendra's rage reached its breaking point, she stormed over to him and pointed a finger in his face with every word. "You're making it worse. After everything we've gone through together, you think that exposing me this way will make things right. So you're going to sit here and lecture me about honesty? You've made me look foolish, Jock. Her remarks cut through the air like daggers. This wasn't just about their relationship. It was about trust, respect, and betrayal. Jock wasn't going to let her control the situation. You thought you could get away with it thinking I wouldn't catch on, he said, his tone growing firmer. But I did, and now you have to own up to what you've done. To Kendra, this was a personal attack she never saw coming. Her pride was wounded, and her emotions were all over the place. Her eyes burned with anger and shock. She couldn't believe Jock was so cold, so eager to show the world her shortcomings. Yes, she had betrayed him, but this wasn't how she expected things to unfold. She had hoped they could resolve their issues privately, avoiding the humiliation of public exposure. You really think I wanted to hurt you, Jock? Do you think I just stole for fun? Her voice wavered between anger and desperation. I was trying to help you and us, but you turned everything against me and threw me to the wolves like this after everything we've been through. Her hands were balled into fists as she paced back and forth. Jock was quiet for a moment, then in an unwavering tone, he said, "You took from US, Kendra, and now you must deal with the consequences." He stared her down. The tension in the room was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Kendra's sorrow now outweighed even her anger. She had gone too far, but Jock had made sure she understood the fallout was real and her actions carried far-reaching consequences. The walls were closing in, but Kendra could still feel the fire of defiance burning within her, refusing to back down. Jock stood firm as their confrontation reached its peak. It was unclear whether their relationship would survive this devastating blow, but one thing was certain: Kendra's betrayal had changed everything.